Hit me.
Welcome to the Senior Rehab Podcast.
The podcast for rehab clinicians that want to better serve older adults.
And now, your host, Dustin Jones.
Short. Hello, friends. This week's Senior Rehab Short is part 2 of Neil Maltby's Algorithm is Going to Get You. If you haven't listened to part 1, go ahead and listen to the previous Senior Rehab Shorts. This is from becomingmorehumanblog.wordpress.com. So, he told you to stop swimming? I interjected. Yeah, the breaststroke legs are bad for my hips, he said. She replied. Was it painful to swim? A bit. Did it irritate you after? Not more than usual. So did you stop? Yeah, I haven't been since. Have you tried anything else instead? No, I thought I'd better check with you first. Spontaneity is an important human trait. Even in the absence of task, our brain has spontaneous default neuronal patterns, constantly probing and engaging our environment, responding to that around us. When immersed in a task, this spontaneous pattern shows some attenuation. Robots, of course, are less spontaneous and more about task and compliance. And being honest, despite advocating a focus on humanity, there are benefits of this. For example, it is thought excess spontaneous neural patterns lead to more mistakes during tasks, although higher amplitude at rest can predict better task performance. For centuries, humans have sought order, documentation, and reference. We have encyclopedias dating back to AD 77. Even the most experienced health professionals will admit the use of Wikipedia or other similar reference points. In this respect, we must play second fiddle to robots who can access large swaths of data. So how might spontaneity give us an advantage? Spontaneity is regarded integral to child's play and learning. It helps children develop and learn from their environment. The COG project aimed to create a robot who could gain the intelligence of a 2-year-old, learning only from its environment rather than pre-programmed. This was shelved in 2003. Not so easy, it appears. There's a graphic that says spontaneous, occurring without external cause, from natural tendency or impulse, unplanned, without effort, unconstrained. Is spontaneity rehearsed? For example, sporting skills are often honed on the training ground to be used more spontaneously within game. Athletes often describe being in the zone, the sensation when game comes naturally, easily, spontaneously. Performance subconsciously emerges. You may argue, well, they plan the move before they execute. Indeed, you must plan, subconsciously, every move before it is executed. Is then a charade? Let us probe deeper than at language and thought. How often do you prepare conversation, word for word, and your thoughts? When was the last time you planned these? You may think or talk on a theme or topic, but rarely is each detail consciously chosen. It emerges from the subconscious. Spontaneity lies at the heart of who we are as humans, and well, it is so given our complex dynamic environments. Another graphic. Abductive reasoning, a form of logical inference which goes from complex information to theory using the most likely, best, or simplest explanation. Thought, therefore, spontaneity is central to clinical reasoning. Without it, we repeat pre-programmed intervention and hope. Algorithm sucks the spontaneity out of interaction. Its purpose is output, a definitive and absolute, not engagement, connection, nor plot. This is a particular problem for abductive reasoning processes. Here, context is king. That's not to say subjective assessments be left to chance. Writers, artists, actors, composers all have subjective method, but this is not algorithmic. Maybe we can learn something. Whether it's impressionist art, method acting, or vernacular novels, they look for ways to engage, to develop meaningful context. Instead of considering the next steps in the algorithm, being mindful of what is actually being shared. I remember vividly someone telling me that I was going to bollock them as they'd been on a massive night out for a celebration. Plenty of alcohol, dancing on tables, the lot. They described a return of pain the next day as a result. My questions follow. Did you have a good night? An emphatic yes in response. How long did it take you to recover? A sheepish reply, about a day. Overall, do you feel any worse now for doing it? A more confident, no, if anything, a bit better. Well, that's good then, I finished. I fear early in my career I would have been bollocking in this scenario and laid heavy warnings of fear, caution, and sensibility. In fact, I doubt I would have made enough connection for anyone to tell me this. I now enjoy these stories alongside people who start self-progressing exercise. However, if people come looking for permission to restart or need to know exact sets or reps, it makes me think deeper. Are they scared? Do they have poor confidence? Do they have time or stress issues and want an easy answer? To briefly complete the introduction, this lad immediately returned to the pool with good effect alongside a specific HIIT program. Lack of spontaneity often breeds lack of challenge, not wanting to try new things, and increased need for planning. This can add extra stress to otherwise routine activities or journeys and may lead to social isolation. Although I recognize for some pacing is required, we need to be careful this is not overly stifling. No challenge, no new things, having to pre-plan daily living doesn't sound fun. We have a role in helping people negotiate this, allowing them to be more human without increasing suffering. How spontaneous do we allow ourselves to be without compromising task? How can we promote spontaneity? Have a method that allows you to know them outside the boxes. Be more human, be less robot. Thanks for getting this far. Hit me. Thank you for listening to the Senior Rehab Podcast. The show notes can be found at seniorrehabproject.com. And while you're there, be sure to check out the products and the resources page. This is where you can find helpful services or products and recommendations to make you a better clinician. Also, if you enjoy this conversation, just do me one favor and share it with one other person that could benefit. And until next time, do not forget to stay funky.